Howdy! Are you ready to create, share, spread joy by making creations that are a reflection of you? If so, stay tuned to be inspired. Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I'm super excited that you're here to join me today. We're going to make this happy birthday card today. It's really quick, simple, and easy. So let's get started. My first card base is an A2 size. This is going to attach to my card. And I want to use a white card base, but this is cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Then I have pre-cut some strips here. All of these strips are, and I'm going to make several of these. So all of these strips are 1/2 inch. And then the lengths is what varies. So this one is 3 inches. This is 1/2 inch, and it is 3 1/4. This one is 1/2 inch, and it is 3 1/2. The green is 1/2 inch, and it is 3 3/4. And then the blue is 1/2 inch, and it is 4 inches long. So I have put these in piles here so that in the order that I want to put them on the card. And that's another way when you make multiple batches of things, if you put them in order, you're less likely to mix them up, especially since they're different sizes and we want them to go on a certain way. In the background, I have pre-cut my letters for the word happy. And I used this by using my Silhouette machine, and it was free. I was just able to go on the design page and put in my letters, happy, and then cut them out. And I layered them 3 high. So I cut 3 for each letter, and then I put on a glossy accents to make them shine. You don't have to do that. You can leave them plain, or you could put glitter on them. You can also cut them out using any kind of dies that you might have and just layer it 3 high. They don't even have to be layered 3 high. Next, we're going to stamp the word birthday down at the bottom. Now, any birthday stamp will work for this. And I'm going to use my Misty because I'm going to make several of these, so I want to keep my birthday in the same place for each card. So I'm going to put my birthday down here where I want it, and I want it at the bottom. Next, I am going to use Hero Arts Unicorn Pigment ink. And this is going to just put the birthday in white, very light, on the card. You could also heat emboss this onto your card with white heat embossing, or another color like red. But I am just going to do the white, and I'm going to stamp it a couple times. And this will only take a couple minutes to dry, or you could hit it with your heat gun. And what I'm going to do is, by the time I get this stuff done, that will be dry. So I'll clean this off, my stamp. And normally I would stamp all of my card bases one right after the other. And because I like to do things in a pattern, it makes it easier and faster. But for this sample, I'm going to show you how I do this. Is set up our Cricut. If you can also do this on a Silhouette or your Gemini. I use my Gemini Junior basically for die cutting. So I use my Cricut Cuttlebug for embossing. And what we're going to need is, we're going to need the A plate, the B plate, our embossing folder. And when I put this into the embossing folder, because I stamped a small birthday down here, I want to make sure that when I line this up in here, that the birthday will not get embossed. So I'm just going to pull down that card, and you can see the birthday will not get the embossed on it. And then I will put on another B plate. Now, let me get my Cuttlebug here so you can see. We will just run this through the machine. So if you have a Sizzix or whatever, you're just going to run it through. And this embossing folder, you could use any kind of embossing folder you want. This one is a dot one. You could use a swirl. This one here is called, I think, Swiss Dots. But now we have our embossed background. So we already look like we have a party going on. So I have my card base. And the next thing I want to do is put down my strips. And I have my strips in order for making the batches of cards. And don't feel bad about making batches of cards for birthdays. And I'll tell you why in just a minute. But next, we're going to want to use our strong adhesive on this card base. And what I like to use is a double-sided adhesive. And the reason is we have these dots. And I just want to make sure that these strips are going to stay on. So first, let me show you how I put a couple of strips on, and then I'll talk about the batch making of cards. So I just put some adhesive down on the back, and I will put this on. And my first object is I want to show some of that embossing over here to start with. So what's great about this is these are dots and they're kind of in a line, so I can go and just want to show that first row, and this will allow me to line this up at the top and come down pretty straight on my card because of the pattern in the back. And then I'll get my next strip and put adhesive on that. And let's see. Now I want to show some more embossing, so I'm going to show 2 rows this time of the embossing and then line this up to come down the card. Okay, so why is it okay to do batch card making, especially for birthdays? I do this for birthdays and my Christmas cards, Valentine's Day card, because if I did a different card for every person's birthday, it would cost me a lot of supplies, number one. And number two, it would take me a lot of time. Now, I'm still using my time to create a card for someone. They're still going to love my card. So I think it's just important to go ahead and make it in batches, because it doesn't take away from the fact that I care.
Once you've put all your strips down, leaving a little bit of the Swiss dots between, use some adhesive and spread it on the back of your letters, and then adhere your letters down at the end of each strip. And now you have your birthday card, and press it down good and allow it to dry well. Attach the front of your card to a card base with strong adhesive. And now you have a fun card to send to the person that you care about. Thanks for joining me today. If you like this card, give me a thumbs up. Tell me a technique you'd like to see in the comments, and subscribe. See you next time.